Hey, my name is Sean. Welcome to Echoes in Eternity Bourbon. Does something older make it better?
Don't be so afraid.
Have you been afraid of something that you needed to overcome?
Oh, sure. Plenty times where there's an opportunity.
So, the reason I ask that is I have something really interesting that I'm going to try today. I've talked about 13th Colony, my love for 13th Colony, but one of the things that they are doing out there is if you go to the distillery, they have a bunch of old decanters, a ton of old decanters out there. And if you purchase something there, you have an opportunity to bring one of those decanters home. I mean, they had a slew of decanters. Well, my buddy Chris, he goes out there quite a bit, and I'm going to put some information for him in here because he does a lot of stuff with barrels. He does barrel heads, he does crosses, he does beautiful cabinets and stuff with the barrels. So I'm going to put some of that in the link to this description so you can check him out. If you're local, it's probably going to work best for you. I'm sure, I don't know if he's shipping anything yet, but if you're local, he does some amazing work. But he goes out there all the time to get barrels to do some work on it. And he is a huge Wild Turkey fan. I'm talking about, for people, BTAC, his BTAC is all the different Wild Turkey stuff. Huge Wild Turkey nut. And he is, that makes no bones about it, no shame about it. And I absolutely love it. But when he was out there, he happened to see this beautiful Wild Turkey decanter. And he picked it up and it had some juice in it. And he thought, nah. So he brought it home. The cork had been busted up at the top, but he was able to get the cork out of there, fish it out, and it had juice in there. Full bottle of juice in there. And so today, and we actually tried some of this the other day, and I still live, so I can say it's good juice. Is some Wild Turkey 101 from 1974. So these are both Wild Turkey 101s. You can probably see on my left hand side, your guys' right hand side of the screen. Well, that's your left hand side of the screen. Um, Actually, yeah, I guess when you're watching it's just, but it's a darker juice. In this one, it's got this nice yellow, amberish, a little bit of orange, but this one has deep orange, burnt orange in there, a little bit of brown in there. And so just even by appearance, they look different. But I wanted to compare what's this 50-year juice like compared to today's Wild Turkey 101. And this is age stated at 8 years. This actually came out of, and thank you, Chris, for this, the Charleston Tea Party from November 1974 decanter. Man, and it smells good too. So Wild Turkey 101 proof. So definitely looking forward to getting into this. Here's our standard Wild Turkey right here, 101. So let's see what we got. So we'll go into today's Wild Turkey 101. Let's see what the difference is. I like Wild Turkey stuff. I think that they do a very good job. I love some of the Russell's expressions and stuff that they do there. But you get your typical bourbon type of a notes off of this. You're getting your caramels, you're getting your vanillas, you're getting your oaks on there. Let's see what it looks like when we go back to something that's 50 years old. Let me run this around too because I want to see what the legs are like on this as well. So the legs are similar. This one does have a little bit thicker legs. So when I talk about thicker legs, I talk about the kind of the droplets that are coming down the side of the Glencairn. They do appear to be just a little bit thicker than the standard 101. But that nose is a lot more intense. Where this one's kind of a little bit lighter, almost has like a little bit of a light appleness to a little appleness. Wow, that's a word. Nose to it. Now this has some must and funk to it. Now you got to remember though, this has been in a decanter for 50 years, but it does have some of that darker mustiness to it. where this one's a little bit more, it has a little more lighter notes to it. The notes on this are just more pronounced. It doesn't kind of have that springy light fruit to it, but they both have the caramels, the vanillas, the oak on it. And then as you work on this more, the legs look more prominent on this. So there's more oils involved in this. Let's give today's 101 a test and a taste and see what we got. It's a good bourbon. I mean, it's to me, I know that Troy from Breaker Drinks isn't a big Wild Turkey 101 fan. I think for the price point, for the bourbon you're getting, I think it's a very good bourbon. You know, it's nothing that you're going to write home and talk about this is incredible and memorable, that this changed your life. But if you're sitting around with some friends somewhere and you just want a good pour for a very good price, this is your entry thing in here. You know, a lot of people talk about Buffalo Trace, great entry point, stuff like that. Eagle Rare, absolutely big fan of that for the price point. But this is even better price point, higher proof. And to me, I think it's a great way to kind of start off your journey into bourbon. It's lighter on the palate. Get a little bit of dryness on back, not a whole lot. You know, just a little finish. It's just, you know, it's not heavy on the finish, light finish on this. Tiny bit of hug. Let's get into this 50-year-old. Let's see what we got here. Mouthfeel on this is totally different. 100% difference on the mouthfeel on this. Where this is very light. This one, wow, better finish on this too. It brings up more ramped up kind of a flavor, but it brings in a thicker mouthfeel to it. It's got a longer finish on this. I'd say where this is kind of a short finish. You got kind of a medium finish in here. Getting that nice little hug off of it, and got some funk on the back of this. Now, I understand this has been in a decanter for 50 years. You know, I can imagine how it's been stored over the years. But this has a creamier texture and taste to it. So where this one's a little bit lighter on it, it just kind of hits your palate and kind of just takes off. So it hits your palate, it says hello, it gives you this nice burst of little flavor, and then it works its way out. The 50-year-old comes in creamier, it comes in darker. It does have a little bit of funk on the back, which could turn some people off, but I think it's a very good pour. Like I said, it's very interesting, the difference, you know, how they were making it 50 years ago to how they're making it today, what that's like. You know, what's really cool too is, you know, I met someone this weekend, you know, his name's Rob. He was coming to town. He's a member of the channel. And, you know, I picked up a bottle for him that he was trying to get. And I said, hey, let's meet there and try this out. And I said, you know, we started talking. He's a Wild Turkey fan. And he's a Vegas guy. You know, he's from Vegas like me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get you the rest of this sample. So the rest of this 50-year-old is going out to Rob, the Vegas guy that was given to me by Chris. Thank you so very much. Because I'd like him to compare him and give me his thoughts. What does he like better? Does he like today's Wild Turkey 101 or does he like something that was done 50 years ago? And they're really neat because this one where I get like a lighter kind of a crisp apple, you know, green apple type of thing. I'm getting more of a darker type of little bit of a cherry on this. So very interesting pours. I think it's really neat when you find something like that, when you get to try it out, so you can kind of step back in history a little bit. You get to say, wow, what is it like tasting some juice that was started before I was born? And I think that's pretty cool. So if you're figuring 74s when that decanter came out, if they dumped it that same year and it's an 8-year product, you're looking at somewhere around 66 is when this is started. So this predated when I was born. And so you get to drink a little bit of history right there. Man, that was pretty cool. Chris, thank you very much. I can't wait for you guys to see some of his creations that he does. He does a lot of things for me, including this right here, up here. So if you haven't seen this, this is one of the things that he does too. Chris is a very talented guy, and it's a pleasure to call him a friend. By the time you guys see this, it's going to be Wednesday at lunchtime. Man, you're rolling through the week. If you're a Monday through Friday guy like me, but lunch, see this, you're on the downhill slide for the weekend. Going to go hang out with my sister-in-law and brother-in-law this weekend. See my niece, hang out with the wife and the son. Going to bring one of his friends along. Going to go to the lake. Just chill out. I'm going to miss the Alabama bourbon drop this weekend, but I didn't have a number. I didn't place in the lottery, and they've got some good bottles. I could have probably pulled a couple of good bottles by going in and getting in line, but rather do some family stuff. Wife's been out of town. It'll be a good time to kind of catch up and just hang out with the family. So looking forward to that. If you're working today, I hope your work day goes by fast. I hope you're successful and blessed in everything that you do today. I hope you bring great energy and your teams bring great energy right back. Man, I would also like to say thank you. Bourbon Bill, I am a fan, and I'm actually a member of his channel. I've subscribed to his channel. He gave us such an amazing review of the bottle that Matt and I did with with Short Barrel. So he did such an amazing job on that. I'd just like to say thank you. He actually compared it to a rye from 13th Colony. So you got two Georgia powerhouses. They were comparing the ryes. So I thought that was very nice and very cool. I'm glad that he really enjoyed it. I love his takes on things. He's quite humorous a lot of times, so I appreciate that too. And so glad that Short Barrel's now on the map for him. But if you guys haven't had a chance, go check out Bourbon Bill. And he really loves some ryes too. That's the one thing I noticed about him, and one of the reasons I started kind of following him is I love some of the rye content stuff that he had. But he's funny altogether. To go check him out. Man, most importantly though, when you get that off time today, I hope it slows down for you. I hope you have a great time with family, with friends, doing something for yourself. Man, doing something for somebody that maybe you haven't done for in a while. Checking on a neighbor. We've got some great older neighbors in this area. I call them my historians. So if I don't see them for a while, I like to pop over and say, hey, how you doing? Talk to my neighbor Sam every once in a while when he's outside. He watches the show, and I absolutely love that he watches the show too. But check out some of the people in your neighborhood you maybe haven't talked to in a while. Get out on a walk and say hey to them. And it's great just to kind of build that camaraderie in your neighborhood. It makes you feel better when you know more people in your area, that we don't have these walls up everywhere. Most importantly, all, cheers and God bless. I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you.